What's good, guys, and welcome to another episode of Mini Logic. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm joined here by Dukey for the first time since, I think, episode 13 in season 1.
Yeah, it's been a while, this one, isn't it?
For sure, man. But a lot of the next videos are going to be featuring him, so don't get twisted in it. But yeah, so in this episode, we're going to be answering the question of, did Paulo Dybala just downgrade?
He did.
Yeah? Straight up, isn't it? Dybala obviously was a free agent. Juventus were going to renew his contract and all of a sudden change their mind, probably related to their financial situation at present. They didn't feel like they could. Dybala was worth the investment in wages, I believe, and they decided to pull their contract offer away. Became a free agent. He left in tears, and then a lot of teams were linked to him, weren't they? There was Inter Milan, AC Milan, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur. A lot of clubs were linked to him.
Yeah, but with him, because he's pussy, I don't think he's meant for the Premier League, to be honest with you.
You
Especially with the... Yeah, I mean, he'll probably get 10, 15 goals if anything, but I think due to his injury record, that's not a really good look, especially with coming to the Prem. So you might as well stay in Serie A. But I thought he would have gone to Inter at least, because at least they're pushing for the Scudetto. Roma! So you can chill with Jose and Matic.
Matic, Matic.
Yeah, stop that, man.
I think what you mentioned a good point about the injuries, because I think literally his done was there where it's just like, I think his injury record put a lot of teams off. I thought there would have been a whole lot more interest in Dybala's services if...
How old is he?
He's 28, Dybala.
Oh, yeah, man.
So I think he's like in his late 20s, 27, 28, and a player that should be really in the prime of his powers, a player that should be really performing at his optimum level right now. So obviously the last few years at Juventus, since Ronaldo joined, have been quite flat, and he hasn't been able to capture the true form he had beforehand, and that's mainly because of his injuries, I think. Obviously lots of form plays a part, but you would have thought that maybe a good Italian team would have been in for him. Now, I'm not saying Roma are a bad Italian team, but they did win the Conference League last season. You know, the trophy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's pop the mini champagne for that, you know. Jose crying about, seeing how everyone's crying in Italy these days, and it was interesting actually, is that he didn't take the number 10.
He did not?
No, he didn't. He didn't take number 10. He took number 21. And it's funny because that's what I was going to talk to you about off air. Actually, I was talking to some people on the chat section.
Yeah. And
I was saying how. And I want to get your say on this. I'm kind of going off topic here and there, but it's the whole shirt number thing. I think it's really pathetic. I can't lie to you.
Is it?
Yeah. Dybala didn't wear the number 10 because he known that every time that he would underperform, he would get it twice as high from the Roma fans because of what that number 10 means, isn't it? Because some guy wore it before him, who did really well.
Not just any guy, but yeah, I get your point.
But you see my point though, it's the player that makes the number, not the number that makes the player.
Facts. I agree that. Just because Totti literally did it perform at a really high level in the shirt for the club for many, many years and was very loyal, extremely loyal to the club. Ultimately, the number doesn't define the player. So ultimately, he just happened to wear that shirt while performing.
Exactly, but I digress. Don't get it twisted in case people start crying that we're disrespecting the ball. He is a very good player.
Yeah, we're honestly just surprised that a player of his quality has gone to Roma as a free agent.
Exactly.
To me, it's very interesting because for a player of his quality to be available for free, surely there have been a number of teams willing to take a risk on it.
Exactly. You ask me as a United fan, I would take the ball in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I really thought the interest, when I started hearing the links, I thought, okay, maybe they're starting to ramp up the interest. But they went ahead and signed Eriksen instead.
Yeah.
Which I find very fascinating because obviously Eriksen has proven that the situation that he had with his heart isn't bothering him anymore. And United probably saw him as one with Premier League experience, even though I feel like that's slightly an overrated factor when looking at player performance. Dybala is better than Eriksen. Well, I don't know how much better now, but
we are talking about two different players for different positions.
True that. Yeah. Dybala can play in the attacking midfielder position like Eriksen can, but you could say he's most at his best when he's playing off the striker, a lot closer to the striker, kind of like a centre forward playing off the main striker. I think that's where he's at his best.
It's funny actually, because I think his best is actually the striker. I don't like him on the right cutting in, and I kind of don't like him as a cam because most teams he won't really fit well in the cam position because he would play more the shadow striker / centre forward kind of role.
Yeah, I know
so
what you mean.
So put the ball up top.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think with the system that Roma play, I feel like he will actually fit pretty well with how they're set up. And I think it's one of those ones there where it's just like, with Dybala, maybe at a team like Roma, he can go there now and be the man. At Juventus, when he was the man, he performed really well. He came up clutch for them and it was one of those ones there where it's like he knew this was his team and they counted on him. But unfortunately, I feel like over the last few years, obviously people will point towards Ronaldo joining as the turning point of his career because once he joined, for some reason, his career went downhill from there. But I honestly think it's one of those ones there where it's just like, at least he's at a team now that will probably value him and give him more the minutes and the playing time he could get. And a manager that is known for being successful and known for getting the best out of certain players.
And it's Rome, you know, they adore that club and their players, so he'll fit in fine in there.
This is what I mean. But ultimately,
if he don't get 20 goals, I'll probably laugh at that. I won't lie to you.
Really?
Yeah.
20 goals.
He owns that league, man. Come on, man. He's a very good player, man. His goals alone are amazing. So if he just hits form, I expect the ball to really hit 20 goals, innit? I really do.
That's why I know. Yeah, I get that.
That's my expectation for him.
It all depends how Mourinho sees him as and where he wants to play him. Ultimately, if he sees him more as a midfielder, then that's going to affect a lot.
Dangerous.
And knowing how Mourinho is like, you can't count it out.
And that's true because we didn't really think about that. Where is Jose going to play him?
Yeah, when I remember the Conference League final, I think they played a system along the lines of, I think a 3-5-2 or they played 3 at the back, I believe.
So what is he gonna play behind Tammy?
He might play...
Or play with him as joint striker?
He might play him as either the striker... maybe he might change the system around to accommodate Dybala in exchange for one of the attacking midfielders.
Yeah, because you can't bench Tammy after the season he had.
This is what I mean, fam. He was absolutely sensational. I think Pellegrini and Zaniolo have performed well. Zaniolo won the trophy.
They have.
So I feel like maybe that's competition or maybe he's seeing it as tactical flexibility. And yeah, we have to just wait and see what system he puts out there because I know for Tottenham he changed the system there quite a lot of times. So maybe he's just going to try and figure it out and think of what team is best for him to get the best out of him because he is a marquee signing, honestly, and he goes in there now as probably one of their best players.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a big surprise though because it looked like Inter were set to sign him. Honestly, they were in talks for him. It looked like they were getting things sorted out. And, if he joins Inter, that's not a downgrade. Inter Milan finished second behind AC.
That's not a downgrade. Roma is though, but...
You know what? That's an upgrade even. Just a slight upgrade. Juventus are right now, you could say, in the phase of rebuilding. They kind of are like flattening out in terms of their potential and they need to sign players now to help putting them there. Obviously, the signings of Di Maria and Pogba will help. To what extent we shall see. But these are players that are very experienced, especially in the case of Di Maria, in terms of like delivering high quality performances and all that kind of stuff. Even though I know Di Maria hasn't really been playing a lot of games at PSG.
Honestly, I'll stick my neck out. I think Juventus get top 3 alone with those 2 players. Pogba knows the league and is a good player anyway when he wants to be. And then with Di Maria, Di Maria is very, how do I say it? I think since being at PSG, he's kind of been slept on thanks to the 3 obvious players actually.
Yeah.
But from his technique, ball control, composure, and finishing, especially in a more slow-paced league like Serie A. Yeah, man, the rest is history.
Maybe that's why Dybala didn't want to leave. He probably saw the Italian league as the best league to show off his skills and stuff.
Yeah, because think about it, if you're 28, injury record, and then you're going to go to a league for fast centre-backs, high intensity, yeah.
It's tough, isn't it? Yeah. And I don't think enough clubs showed interest in him to convince him. I feel like if United really wanted him, I think they could have convinced him. But I think it's one of those ones there where it's just like, I don't think you guys wanted him enough. I don't think United wanted him enough. And
even from our side, don't get it twisted, that's me, I'm saying sign him anyway for squad depth, but you're right.
This is what I mean, sign him for squad like he kind of did with Eriksen. You can make it work. But obviously I feel like maybe Dybala wasn't keen on leaving Italy because people were really expecting Tottenham to make a bigger move for him, but it never happened.
With certain players, man, they just don't want to leave the league. I mean, look at Sterling, for instance. I remember Sterling from way back saying that he wanted to go to, he dreamt of playing for Madrid. And it came, I think, a year after when they said that Madrid were vaguely interested in him. And I thought, Sterling at that time, I don't know what year it was. It's actually been, I can't remember off my head. But I think even Sterling now playing for a Real Madrid side would be good anyway. But the fact that he returned to London with Chelsea says it all. And I'll be honest, just speaking on that, I don't get how that works. I can't lie to you.
Is it?
Yeah, the whole front three thing. Where do you see Sterling in that?
Yeah, that's true.
With Havertz, Mount, Werner, I almost said Lukaku. Who else?
Well, you said Havertz, Werner, now Sterling, Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi.
There you go.
Amanda Broya, if he's still there.
Nah, he's gone with Sam.
West Ham are signing Skamaka now. He might still go West Ham. He might sign both.
No, I think he has actually. No, so.
But yeah, literally.
Right now.
Yeah, so literally, Fabrizio, I think, reported it. But yeah, literally, yeah, that's the thing to talk about for another video, isn't it? Just how Chelsea are going to make all of that work without a target man. Because clearly Lukaku didn't fit playing there. Fair enough, he's gone back to Italy. But all in all, ultimately, Dybala did have downgrade. And it's just simply because of the fact that Roma just aren't as good as a team as Juventus are. Never mind someone like Inter or AC. You know, they're not going to be competing for the league. That's the harsh reality of it. He's going to go then, you know, make some money. And, you know, even though he did take a pay cut, I think, he's getting paid less now. People thinking it's kind of for the money. Nah, I think it's just Roma were the only team that really were interested in him. Another team wanted to take a risk on his injury record.
I mean, it depends on how well Roma do. You know, if they're in the business end of the season and they're at least third place and they're. Yeah, I think that's really yeah, possibly
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, I think that we're gonna end it there. You know, we're gonna move on to the next topic, which you'll see coming up after this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed listening. And yeah, ultimately, Dybala did downgrade, and you have to accept it for how it is. So yeah, catch you in the next episode.